What's going on, people, and welcome to my match recap and player ratings for yesterday's game. England 0, United States of America 0. In a game which I predicted 3-1 to England. It really didn't work out that way. I thought the USA were the better team. They played the better football. They looked more exciting. They looked more like they were the team to score a goal and win it. And we were a major letdown, I feel like, especially after the opening game where we put so many goals in and it was 6-2. Like, to go from that to this yesterday was terrible. And I know America are a better team than Iran, but like, we saw Iran beat Wales and what they can do, and like, it's just terrible. And a lot of it comes down to Southgate, and it falls on the players. But for me, it falls more on Southgate because of the style and how he sets his teams up. It wouldn't matter if you switched some of them players out and put the likes of a Foden in. Because of the system he plays, it's not going to work. So for me, Southgate needs to go. I know we're top of the group and we haven't lost in the group yet, but I don't care. It's the way we go about games and the way we approach games and start games, and the mentality is so defensive. Like, the first game was refreshing because we were on the front foot. We scored a lot of goals against a team that maybe weren't fully focused, but we still have to beat who's in front of us. And then the US, like, what are we going to do if we come up against a Brazil or a France in the later stages or someone like that? We're going to have to play these sort of teams to win the tournament. We won't win the tournament anyway. I don't think we'll get anywhere past the quarters if we're lucky. And at the moment, I know we're top of the group, but it's the way we go about playing games. Like, I don't want us to win the World Cup and be a boring team. Like, I don't. And I don't want us to be a negative team and win the World Cup. I don't. I want us to play attractive football. And all that takes is switching up the formation and the mentality and telling players that they can attack more and have more freedom. You can still do that and defend. But people, I don't get the support with Southgate. I know he got us to a semi-final of a World Cup, but then, like, no one remembers that. We get to a final at Euros in our own backyard and we still can't win it. Like, people want to keep him in job because of that. Like, I don't care. We didn't win it. Either of them competitions. We didn't win it. In what people say, we had favourable draws as well to get to them stages. And we still can't win it with favourable draws in our own country. Like, enough is enough. And this is why I put my tactics videos up, like, in terms of my lineups I would go with. I'm going to start going into a little bit more tactical next time. So when I do my preview for the Wales game, I'm going to be going a little bit more tactical on the whiteboard as well, and see if you guys like it. But just to give you a heads up, because that's why I set my formations up like I set them as well. We shouldn't have two defensive midfielders because it's too negative already. We already play with a back five, but it's really a back seven or back eight. Sometimes it's a back nine. It's shockingly defensive, and you can tell by the way we played that he tells them players to go out and defend instead of attack. The amount of attacking potential we have in our team with the players we have, the likes of a Maddison, the likes of a Foden, Harry Kane, who was poor yesterday. But a lot of it is down to the system. Them players need to tell him, but they won't. And that's a problem. Into the ratings in a sec, but America, as I said, fair play to them. I thought they were the better team. They looked more convincing. They looked the more likely team to score. And I thought we were lucky not to lose the game. I really did. They hit the crossbar, obviously, come close a few times, and I think we were lucky. And we might be top of the group, and people might be like, get behind the manager and back him. But I'm saying no. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the defensive attitude, this defensive mentality, security FC. Because as soon as we come up against decent teams in knockout stages, we're gone. We're gone. So, not happy at all with yesterday. Very disappointed. And I went into that game with belief after the first performance that we could do something. But then, as soon as there's a slight improvement in the team, he shuts up shop. It's security FC all of a sudden again. So for me, I'm really not happy. He isn't the man for us. I would rather take a foreign coach if it's going to mean we play better football and more attractive football. People get this thing about it has to be an Englishman. No, it doesn't. Look at where that's got us in the past. I know Capello didn't work, but we haven't tried it enough. At some point, someone will get more out of these players than Southgate gets because of how they set up. They're more on the front foot. They're more attacking. They take more risks. It's just poor. There's no excuse for it. And then the post-match interviews and stuff yesterday, the players and Southgate are saying that they felt they controlled the game and we have to respect the US. No, you go out and attack them and win the game. So then you don't have to come out and look like an idiot afterwards. And other teams have that mentality and we don't. And that's part of why we never win anything. So I feel sorry for these bunch of players because they're doing what the manager's telling them to and we look like idiots. As for the ratings, Pickford 5, Trippier 5, Stones I thought he was my man of the match. I had him at the same rating as Maguire. Fair play to Maguire. I thought he did okay yesterday. Cleared a few defensive mishaps at times for us and last ditch sort of flick-ons and stuff like that. So Stones and Maguire, both give them a 6. I'd give my man of the match to Stones. Shaw 5, average. Bellingham 4. I thought he started well, but as the game went on, the midfield battle we lost, and it's not just down to him, but the amount of times McKennie and Adams just ran through and people couldn't put a challenge on them was shocking. Bellingham 4, Rice 6. He put a few good last-ditch blocks in at times where people were taking shots on the edge of the box. So for that, I have to bump his rating up because no one else was doing it. 6 for Rice. Mount a 5. But seeing a lot of people getting on Mount's back and giving him a lot of stick. But he works his arse off. I don't think he was worse than anyone else yesterday. So, yeah, I don't think he's the main culprit, to be honest. I give him an average 5. Saka 5. I thought he started well, and as the game went on, it got worse for him. Shame for him, but again, not worse than anyone else. Average. Kane a 3. I didn't see him do anything in the game. He's slow. At one point, he tried to do a bicycle kick, and it looked like he got caught in a glitch, and he couldn't even get off the ground. Like, he's got lead in his boots. Embarrassing, and that's our captain. And I know the quality he does have when he's on his game, but we ain't seeing it. And we haven't seen it in tournaments a lot. I know he got top scorer at the World Cup last time, but at the last World Cup. But I think of how many penalties he had for that as well. So, for me, Kane, captain, but he's dropping back at times into midfield positions like he does for Tottenham. This isn't Tottenham. This is England. You should be in the box. And I don't like what he's doing as an individual in that team. So 3 for Kane, 3 for Sterling. I don't think Sterling was good at all yesterday. I thought he was a ghost, similar to Kane. So both attacking threats, non-existent. As for the subs, we had Henderson, Rashford and Grealish. I give Henderson a 5. He came on, did put one horrendous ball into the box at one point, which was like a beach ball got hit into the box because it went so high that the keeper come and grabbed it. But he did look positive when he came on. I did question it a little bit when Bellingham took off for Henderson because I thought it was a little bit more defensive. But I actually thought Henderson zipped the ball about quicker and did a little bit more in the short space of time than Bellingham did throughout the majority of the game he was on. And I'm a big fan of Bellingham, but I don't think he really performed yesterday. So Henderson, average. Rashford, a 3. Didn't notice him when he came on. The pace he has and the threat he can offer, didn't notice him. Grealish, a 6. I thought he came on. He looked dangerous. He threatened them a little bit at times, but we didn't get him on the ball enough. And that's a problem again, tactically, it's a problem. 6 for Grealish. Southgate would get a 1 for me. If I could score zeros, I'd give him a 0 because the subs were too late again. The players he started with, for some of them, I don't agree with. It's the tactical way he sets up as well. It's almost 10 at the back at times, let alone 9. So 2 defensive midfielders as well to try and help that defence, and they can't do it that way either. The amount of shots we give to teams is a joke with how defensive we are anyway. Oh, let's see if we can hang on and hopefully grab some at the other end and counter-attack. You can't do that with the quality of players we have in this squad. And he's done it consistently throughout tournaments now. And it's not changing. He's not waking up. He comes out in interviews afterwards and looks like a twat because he thinks he's doing a good job. I ain't buying it. I'm not buying it. And as soon as we come up against a France, a Brazil or someone like that, we're going home. Simple as that. Mark my words, you saw it here. Man of the match for me is Stones. Southgate gets a 1. I'd give him a 0 if I could. But for Wales, I think America are better than Wales, even though they drew their game. So one thing I would say is I think America have more quality in terms of skill and just overall players. But Wales have more fight, I believe. I don't think we necessarily saw that against Iran. But against the English, I think they'll show up in terms of fighting. And if we show up like we did yesterday with no fight, like it's going to be embarrassing. I'm not saying they're going to 4 or 5-0 us, but if we lose to them, it's an embarrassment because we shouldn't be. But the way we're set up, I can see it happening. So I will be doing a preview for that Wales game, so look out for that. Look out for my preview coming for that. I'll be doing it with a whiteboard, and as I said, slightly a little bit more tactical, and see if you guys like it. Not good performance yesterday. Some of the other games to get into as well. Iran beat Wales. Netherlands got a 1-1 with Ecuador, which I thought was a really good game, and actually predicted a draw for that, even though a lot of people went with Holland. I think Ecuador are underrated at times, but now with Valencia going off injured near the end of the game, that might be the end of their tournament because he is their goal scorer. And 3-1 to Senegal against Qatar, who have been woeful. People were saying before the tournament, look what Qatar are going to do. People are going to be shocked. I'm shocked that you're not already packed your bags and gone home. You got the shortest distance to travel to go home as well. You only got to go down the road, and I'm surprised you're still here. So, yeah, some of the games I've played today had Tunisia 0, Australia 1. I thought Tunisia would win that game, but Australia showed up and got the win. And Poland beat Saudi Arabia 2-0, which I haven't actually watched because it just didn't excite me when I read it. So, yeah, 2-0 to Poland. And then tonight, we've got France-Denmark in 15 minutes at 4 o'clock. Hopefully that'll be a good game, and Denmark can show up a little bit more than they did against Tunisia. France will be going into that with confidence after their win in their first game. And then at 7 o'clock, we've got Argentina-Mexico, which I think could make for a really good game, hopefully. So that's the games coming up, guys, tonight. Thanks for everyone supporting and sharing the videos. Keep doing it. Keep supporting. Get to the community tab and vote on the poll I've got there, the last poll I did, in terms of video layouts. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on the game yesterday and England's performance and your player ratings in the comments. And come and subscribe on the road to 2,000 by the 1st of December. Come and help me out. We've only got a few days now, guys, and we're nowhere near it. So I need your support. I'll catch you soon.